I just start now, and I'm really glad to present the Digital Week Kiel as another perspective on the way digitalization and citizen participation are combined in our city. And it's kind of a bottom-up approach I will present to you. And compared to Estonia, as we already have heard, or other Scandinavian states, Baltic states, the German perspective, I don't know, is there anyone from Germany here? Yeah, hi. So where are you from?
From the city of Braunschweig.
You're the colleague. Hi. Hi, so please add the German perspective, or correct me or disagree with me. Feel free. We seem to be a little bit behind when we are comparing it with the Nordic states, to be honest. And so this might be an interesting approach for some of the cities here as well. When we talk about digital transformation in the context of cities in Germany, we have to refer to the most relevant national law we have at the moment. And it's the law for the improvement of online access to administration services that was released in 2017. So it's quite new, and the law requires the federal, Länder and municipal governments to provide all administrative services online within 5 years, so until 2022. And make them available through a central online portal and allow the access via a single user account, like you already have it in Estonia, for example. But for cities, there are a lot of challenges, at least in Germany, but probably all in other states as well. For example, in Germany, we have this strong federal structure. This means we have a lot of competing responsibilities between the national level, the state level, and of course the city level. We have a high rate of bureaucracy. So this is really common for German cities and German administration. We really lack of resources when it comes to the cities. This means like financial resources to implement digital tools, but also the resources regarding human resources. For example, we have been looking for a CDO to really have a digital strategy and to really start a digital transformation. I don't know how long, but he started in January this year. So it really takes us a long time to acquire IT experts who are willing to work in the administration. And of course, we experience that the digital transformation is not only a technical process, but it really changes the culture of administration. And for a really administrative country like Germany, this is a huge transformation. So we face those challenges. And we all agree that digitalization is a powerful, or can be a powerful instrument when it comes to the new possibilities to empower citizens, let them contribute to decision processes, for example. But it's also not like a miracle cure to problems. As we experience, that it's a challenge to include all the citizens. Although the accessibility, of course, to digital participation tools is much easier than before, but it's a question of inclusiveness. In comparison, as I already mentioned, to most of the Baltic Sea states, Germany faces a relevant gap when it comes to the level of digitalization of the society. We have this cool German digital index that is released by the national government, and it examines the level of digitalization in the society. And I would like to present some key facts, as we as a city administration have to really keep this in mind, that there are some results from that. And for example, it's 84% of the citizens that use the internet. Our German digital index is like 55 of 100, so you can imagine what this means. And there are some other studies that if you see in the European context, Germany is like really behind the Nordic states in general. Of course, it depends on the study, but in most of them. Only 84% use it. 68 use it on mobile devices. This is only like using the internet, not like having any skills. Of course, as it is in Estonia, as you already mentioned, we do not have problems with the age group 20 to 50, for example. There it is like 98%, 99%, but there's this huge gap, especially in the elder groups. For example, the group above 70 years old is only like 45% using the internet in general. So we have to keep this in mind as we are really an aging country. The study also finds out that the usage is strongly dependent on the educational level, which is also pretty interesting because we are discussing it on kind of an academic level. Like, yeah, we have all those possibilities. But what about low-skilled workers or professionals? And we have. They find out that we have raising skills in Germany and raising digital literacy, but we have actually moderate expertise when it comes to the technical understanding. So they're asking for what is an algorithm, and people are, yeah, of course I know what it is, but it's not correct. And the study was on 20,000 people, and more than 3,000 were really like answering the concrete questions, like those technical things. Yeah, and what we also see is moderate skepticism towards digitalization in general. More than 40% of the professionals kind of fear this adaptive pressure resulting from digitalization. And data protection is one of the main issues why people are skeptic towards digital transformation. This might sound a bit old school, but of course we are really like highly skilled in Germany. But the study it's interesting to know the framework of how we deal with it in Germany. Yeah, when we talk about digital transformation in Kiel, I just wanted to give some brief notes because probably not all of you know something about Kiel. We are the northernmost state capital, the capital of Schleswig-Holstein. We have about 250,000 inhabitants. We are located like 1 hour south to the Danish border. We have always had a strong maritime industry location, but during some economic recession, we just turned more to important science and business location in the region. For universities, we have a lot of research institutions and have developed into a tech and innovation destination. As I mentioned, we have a CDO now, and we're working on a real efficient digital strategy. We have developed 10 action fields. I just wrote it down, like probably most of your cities that have digital strategies are kind of like working on the same action fields. What is interesting, and luckily our CDO is so like not he's not from the administration, but he's working for big international companies, and so he has like a different perspective. He is really working on it as kind of a mindset change, like how to change the administrative culture in the city, and we have a strong citizen-focused approach. So we are not like developing a strategy like on the paper, but we are trying to do this via project-oriented measures. Yeah, I'm coming to Digital Week Kiel because I could tell you something about like we are working on our online document management system, and we have a chatbot that is on our website, but as we have this general conference topic on inclusiveness and resident focus, we had the idea that Digital Week might be interesting for you as it's this bottom-up approach and includes all target groups in the city. Why do we have Digital Week Kiel? Actually, it's based on Aarhus, the Internet Week Internet Week Denmark in Aarhus, Denmark's biggest digital event. And our mayor visited it in 2016 and came back and said, like, yeah, we will have a Digital Week in Kiel. And please organize it. And a couple of months later, we had the first Digital Week. And it was good to like really not having so much time to think about the concept, because we kind of created a really successful project that I will show you in a short video. It has, it's the after movie of the last edition in 2018, because the other one has taken place in September and the after movie is not ready, unfortunately. And it has English subtitles.
Es heißt ja, einmal ist keinmal, aber zweimal ist der Beginn einer Tradition.
Ist our mayor.
Freue ich mich wahnsinnig, dass wir heute die zweite digitale Woche Kiel eröffnen. Wir haben viel gelernt und auch tolle Erfahrungen gemacht im letzten Jahr. Und wieder haben wir über 250 Veranstaltungen auf die Beine gestellt. Ein ganz bunter Mix aus Veranstaltungen für Freaks, für IT-Fachleute, aber vor allem auch für ganz normale Bürgerinnen und Bürger, die sich dafür interessieren, was denn Digitalisierung mit unserem Alltag macht, mit unserem Berufsleben, mit der Gesellschaft. Ich freue mich unglaublich über das tolle Engagement und auf die tollen Veranstaltungen in den nächsten Tagen.
Mich interessiert halt das Thema Authentizität im Internet total. Ja, ich hoffe einfach, verschiedene Sichtweisen auf das Thema heute Abend kennenzulernen.
Ich finde auch den Anspruch, mehreren Leuten hier in unserer Gesellschaft Digitalisierung möglich zu machen, sehr spannend. Ich habe mehrere Workshops mitgemacht, die waren echt bunt gemischt. Privatpersonen, Leute aus Unternehmen, auch viele Beamte. Ja, man merkt halt auch wirklich in den Wochen in der Stadt, dass ein bisschen was los ist, dass auch wahrgenommen wird von den Leuten.
Ich freue mich sehr, dass wir hier auf der digitalen Woche Kiel die Möglichkeit haben, auch noch ganz viele Nischenthemen ausleben zu können, sodass es einfach ein sehr cooler Platz hier.
Ich kannte so Virtual Reality Brillen nur aus dem Fernsehen und hatte jetzt heute zum ersten Mal eine auf und es ist ja abgefahren, wie echt das wird.
Ich hatte das heute gut, dass ich auf dem Fernseher malen konnte.
Die digitale Woche Kiel hat sich von einem spannenden Experiment in 2017 in diesem Jahr zu einem Format mit einem echten Zukunftsversprechen weiterentwickelt. Und das ist nur deswegen möglich, weil wir eine Vielzahl von tollen Akteuren hier hatten, die sich eingebracht haben, die tolle Veranstaltungen gemacht haben. Wir hatten großartige Helfer, tolle Volunteers und allen möchten wir von Herzen danken und wir hoffen, wir sehen uns in 2019 wieder.
Yeah, hopefully you got an impression of what's going on within this week in September in Kiel. And yeah, why do we have the Digital Week Kiel? Except besides that the mayor decided to have it. We want to develop Kiel into a city in which digitalization is really understood and actively co-determined by its citizens. And we really hope to raise awareness for the potentials of digitalization for all the citizens and empowering their literacy, their competences and skills, and develop Kiel into a location where digital transformation is successfully implemented in all companies, and thereby, of course, as a business location, increasing its national and international appeal as well. Yeah, it's fully organized by the city of Kiel, and together with our business agency, and it has become really a festival format to just showcase the digital landscape of Kiel, but also of the region, as we are not like really thinking in city and the others, but in city and what is our region around. And yeah, we try to attract citizens to contribute to our key discussions we have in the city, to participate in events and to really co-develop the event during the next years. The core values of the event are sharing knowledge and experiences and always learning from each other. Therefore, we are trying to implement more international aspects as well, and inviting partners to really bring in some international perspectives and how we can learn to develop our digital transformation process. Yeah, what is it? We are the biggest digital festival in Germany. If you look at the number of visitors, to be honest, I have to mention that, because we have a lot of exhibitions and public festivals at the same time. So, of course, the number of visitors for the concrete workshops is not more than 20,000 people, of course. But yeah, we reach all target groups. This means like citizens, we reach companies and economy, academia, all educational institutions, schools, and we offer events really for all citizens. So as a citizen, you can experience something for your professional life, but also in the context of family, also for elder people, so senior citizens. Children, we try to do programming workshops in schools to organize this. Yeah, and the concept is that we only set the organizational framework of the events. We support the events like via communication, and we have some locations throughout the city where they can just book rooms. But the events in itself are self-organized. This means like local and regional institutions, companies, universities, non-profit associations, they have to put up their own initiatives. This broad approach to really target all groups of the cities is unique at the moment in Germany, and we have been kind of copied or are cooperating with 6 more German cities now that are interested in this festival concept. Yeah, in 2019 we had more than 300 events. In the first year, in 2017, we already had 200 events, like really unexpectedly. We have really high-level content. So the universities or companies are really interested in bringing really high-level experts during the week, and really organize some events that have not been in September yet, but they are trying to match it with the Digital Week because it has this communicational framework. In 2019, we had more than 270 speakers. A growing number of international speakers, luckily. More than 20,000 participants and visitors. We had 3 international conferences, for example, on the topic of esports. So it was a game development conference in the, it was called Baltic Dev Days. We had a smart city conference with, I don't know, participants from, I think, like 15 or 20 countries. And of course, there are some key topics, which is, for example, artificial intelligence, smart city, new work, data security. We have a data security conference every year, with national experts And yeah, but we also have some events that are focused on questions of philosophy, for example. This time we had a philosophic evening with a guest from San Francisco talking about what artificial intelligence means for our decisions as human beings. And some participants from our churches, and so pretty broad approach. What are the effects that we experienced so far? To come back to the question of how digitalization may empower the citizen participation. Digital Week can, of course, not be described as a concrete digital tool to engage citizens, but we have experienced that it has become a really successful instrument to attract people, to raise the awareness for digitalization in general, and to make them aware of the fact that there is a transformation process going on and that they are also dependent on getting in this learning process. And that some topics like data protection can be discussed, and so that they can understand what is the actual question behind data security, because a lot of people are fearing it, but they do not even know of which data we are talking about. So it's this yeah. We have the festival is really based on this transparent and interactive format, where the citizens can directly experience and discuss these potentials, but also they are able to discuss risks and challenges for them and what it means for their professional life, for example. The events are highly accessible so that really everyone can participate regarding his or her interest. And it's the key element is really the inclusive approach. The Digital Week has become a brand within the last 3 years. We do not have only this 1 week in September, but we just managed to have several events during the year. And you can also notice an increasing awareness from the regional and national level for the digital economy and science destination key. So to be honest, of course, it's a question of business destination as well. This Digital Week has become a key instrument as well within the digital strategy and for the process of digitalization in the city. And it's also an enormous facilitator for developing initiatives, connecting people and businesses in the city, and also empowering the citizens to participate in the city development. So it's not only, when we're talking about digitalization, it's not only the digital entrepreneurs, startups anymore, but it's really a various group of people who are discussing the different perspectives arising from that. So in conclusion, for us, this is one of the main instruments we are working on, because when we talk about digital strategy, people are like, yeah, another strategy from our administration, and how cool. What does it mean? And this is our facilitator for engaging people. So yeah, if you have any questions, so thank you for your attention first. Yeah, any questions, or should we?
Yeah, have you already a lot of European Union collaboration or using their financing? Because as an example, so last year, this year, last year, there was a very interesting Digital Cities Challenge.
Yeah.
So they were around altogether 50 cities, and that was more interactive with the others, so learning what they are doing, and then Commission provided experts to help on that, not giving finance as such. But that seemed to be very, very good for the participating cities, because always some of the others should do a lot the same or are doing already something similar to what you have.
Yeah. For us, it's yeah, this is a gap. The people responsible for the organization of the Digital Week, we did not manage to really apply for official EU funding, unfortunately, because the development of the program is like really on short notice. During the last years, they're working on to professionalize it, but this makes it really hard to apply for funding. But within the next year, it is one of the high priorities to work on that and to really further connect it to on the European level. We are also a member of Eurocities. To really combine it or maybe match it to other digital festivals in other countries. Yeah.
Do you introduce also local government or state plans when it comes to digitalization during this week, or it's mainly for private sector? No. It's also the state level of Schleswig-Holstein. They have contributed really strong, at least in this year, and the growing. Yeah, it's a growing of course importance for the state level as well, and they are discussing the question of digital security for the administrations as well. What does it mean for decision processes on the government level? So there is a political discussion going around as well. And the local politicians, the state politicians, and of course as well national members of the parliament, for example, are really connected to the Digital Week and also contributing to it. So it's really almost all our target groups are combined with it. Yeah.
You referred to the events taking place over the year.
Yeah.
And what kind of manners do you have to engage citizens on the local plans and in the city of Kiel related to Digital Week or not? Things do you do there?
Yeah, it's we have our department responsible for citizen participation. It's located in the communication office of the city. And there are some online tools where you can have an overview on participation projects, on coming initiatives locals can contribute to. But we have not managed yet really to have an online participation tool which is really effective. Like there are more than 2 people using it, unfortunately. Of course, there are most of our activities are offline, so we are doing a lot of in the different districts of the city. We have some areas that are have a high rate of migrants, or another one that is like with low educational level, like really in a separate area. So we are doing a lot of things there to really make them contribute more, but it's sometimes hard to reach them. But with Digital Week, we are not controlling what kind of program is created by the initiators, but we try to give an impulse to them to say like, we offer you a location in this area, and we are giving communication material, we are promoting it, and you can just come and do something. And we have some libraries that in those areas that are providing a maker space and programming workshops, because unfortunately the schools in those areas, they sometimes are not able to do this. But this is not a city decision. This is responsibility of our state level. So this is hard for the city to really match all the interests. But we are trying to put some pressure to this development. And unfortunately, the state of Schleswig-Holstein is really working on this as well. And so we have the same interest to have this festival as kind of initiator for a lot of topics. Yeah. And it has developed because the people are interested in it. It's not like we are organizing it and sometimes this fails, but the people are really interested and there is a real need to discuss digital transformation within this society. At least we experience it like that. Of course, you never reach everyone, but yeah, especially within the youth, there's a lot of interest. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so thank you.
Shall we go for the answers? Maybe you could take.
Yeah. Well, I asked for some youth perspective in the beginning before our session. So maybe I don't know whether you like to kind of share some thoughts on the way we discuss digitalization and what kind of attracts you as the youth to actively contribute to decision processes, for example, when it comes to digitalization. So if you're interested.
You want to start?
Yeah. Should I?
Yeah, you can come here. So
yeah, my digital experiences in what helps the youth get used to using the digital platform.
Yeah,
Okay.
feel free for it. Yeah.
I'm just asking what kind of.
Yeah.
Well, for me at least, what I expect. I'm from Denmark, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Alexander. I come from Denmark, and a calling which is in and of itself a pretty digital city. Denmark uses a lot of the same infrastructure as you have in Estonia, where we have a website with a platform where you can sign up for schools. We have our own digital ID system, which is a single sign-on service like you talked about in Germany you wanted to implement, or you should implement by 2030, or something like that. What really talks to me, and what I know a lot of Danish people like, the youth, is when they can go online and they remove the distance to the authority. Lots of times when you think about the authority as the government or the municipality, it seems like a far distance. There's from me living in the urbanized area to going to the municipality to meeting maybe a politician. That's a long way, and I don't really. It's like it's two different wavelengths. So on the internet, where distance isn't a thing, where it doesn't exist, you can talk with the politicians, and we have created the youth council, which I'm a part of in my city, and we use that to talk through other youth to the politicians. So when they open up and go on Facebook and go on Instagram and talk our language, because a lot of times when you think about politics, you get reports that are 24 pages long. And when they can be described in a single post or a simple, it helps us understand. You have a question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just want to comment that this is a really good thing to bring out, because in Elva, what we do in social media or through the application is that we don't use the language, the official language, but we try to open those subjects up and to make it more understandable to people. Not only for the youth, but for the like for the normal people. They are not interested what paragraph it is in some law. They want to know what's the point.
Yes.
So it's really good.
Exactly. That, and then another important, a really important thing is the way of like working as an adult. I just became 20 and I have to look at a lot of the really boring adult things like taxes and how to register my media license, which is a Danish thing we use to pay for public service announcements. And so a lot of that is, an important thing is to make sure that this is made available to the youth in a language that they understand. So when they have to start doing their taxes, which is a pretty complicated thing in and of its own, it's important that we have the resources to learn from someone who have done it before and know how the system works. So in short, what I'm saying is, we like the information when we want it, when we can sit down and look at it, and we can't do that when it's on the internet. We like it explained in simple terms that makes us understand it, and because we know that we have to have the boring political stuff, the 24 pages long documents, but we also need a compressed version, which we all can understand and live with. I think that's the most important part for me. But I'm curious to if you want to.
You're already 20.
Yeah,
20.
I'm 20, yes.
So you can go to politics and write in your language. All
yes, exactly, and that's what my youth count. I'm chairman of the youth council in Kolding, and that's what we are trying to do as one of our main tasks. So.
Just one small comment.
Yes, of course.
All those procedures that, for example, in Estonia, everyone knows. We think that everyone knows how to have a tax declaration because we do it online. But also in municipality level, we do some things with the short video introductions, how to do it like step by step. For example, in Estonia right now, you need to look through your building register, what you have in your property, and we have filmed a short video just to step by step because it's really complicated area and it's like really hard to explain. And just to decrease the phone calls and the emails for our specialists, we just have just a small video so that everyone can understand.
Yes.
Yeah. I want to add something that is in Germany very important, because the big point for us is to use the big advantage of the digitalization, that you are not limited by your place where you are or by the time. So that you have at every time, at every place, the opportunity to make your taxes like this, and you don't have to go to the departments, that you just go to the departments in the internet. This is the big point in Germany, and this is what for the youth, the most important on the digitalization of this society. And of course, it's like the context of the politics, like you said, with the. If it doesn't fit in a post on Twitter or Instagram, it's not that relevant for the youth. So you have to understand, and to understand it has to be clear and easy. And this is the big point. 5 years ago, social media wasn't a big thing for politicians, and now it's very very important. And in Germany, it's like the campaigns for the elections. Thank you. For the elections. Their social media makes a big impact for the youth. So you see who has the most effective campaign on social media, and this is the big thing for the youth in Germany for the digitalization. Thank you.
My question, I think those who are going to the elections, then I'm okay. But how to get those this part of you to vote in general, to participate, who are not doing that?
This is the problem that I don't know how to describe. There is not just one way. There are some parties who has big concepts to work with these, like they play with the fears of the youth to get them to the election. But in Germany, we don't have a solution for this. It's just like a big problem in our society, and every time before the election, it's like everybody talks about the topics of the topics of the parties, but also about the big topic, how to get people for the election.
What is the age when you can vote in Germany?
Depends on the parliament you vote for whole Germany. It's up to 18. You have to be 18, and for the city Rostock, it's 16.
I'm sorry, just for a second. Who is going to mayor's lunch with invitations? Nobody. Okay. Sorry.
And for the state, our state, Mecklenburg-Pomerania, it's also 18. Yeah, it's 18 or 16.
So we have parliamentary, it's 18, but all the local is 16 plus. And like last election, we saw a really small number of participation, and digital voting was not solving that at all.
We don't have the digital voting.
Just a comment, I have studied in Tartu University this comparative politics, and Mihkel Solvak was one of my teachers, and the trend is that when people are voting for the first time, they tend to prefer going to the voting point, not through online, which is very weird if we take account that young people are more keen using digital tools. But in Estonia, yes, the 16, I think one of the main things why we use also in inclusive budgeting is to introduce young people those possibilities and options how to vote and how to interact.
This is one of the big arguments for the voting age at 16, because at 16 they're just like, okay, the first time I can vote, so I go to the spot, to the cabin and vote, and then they get this big this impact in their mentality about democracy and stuff like that.
But I don't know, Maria-Lena, maybe you can comment more, but in Estonia, I think the education part from the schools needs to change because now when the voting level is 16, the school system doesn't support with the information. Why are they, okay, we study it in schools, but young people don't really understand why they have to go. It's like, I don't know, I don't care. How does it affect me?
Yeah, I mean, the citizen education is still really key here, and it's not actually communicated well of what big difference it makes. I think, we have examples here when there are big votes what are changing the course of a country, and if you would see that the difference can be that small, but the younger age group stays at home, and actually their future will be completely crashed. You know? So we have already dramatic examples of that.
Yeah.
I might have an answer for your question, because we discussed this at home a lot. But I think in Denmark at least it's the same. In Denmark we only do the analog voting, and luckily for that. But Danes and I guess Germans as well, we go to school until I'm not done with school, university until I'm like 23, 24, 25. So until that, the only part of the political spectrum is education. And politicians, at least to my knowledge, in Denmark, they don't really target the youth, because most of the time they simply don't care, and they simply don't have reason to care. It's not because they don't want to care, they don't have reason to care. We don't care about citizen home taxes and the way it works in some industries and some other industries, because we are not in them yet. There's only when people, and it's very clear, because it's only when the politicians talk about either climate change, which is pretty popular along the youth, or the Danish SU, which is the part of the system where we get paid for schools. When these are being talked about, the young Danes want to vote, but all the other times when their education, the thing they only care about, because it is only education, they don't care about anything else, they won't vote. And there's a reason for that, because the politician, why would they target someone who can't vote? That makes sense. They'd rather target someone who actually has a vote.
I think in Estonia it's quite similar. If you look at the political platforms in elections, the main target group is, I think, pensioners or elderly people, because they are those really we give more money to, or those big slogans, and young people, they don't.
Yeah, sometimes they will say, oh, we gotta give people more money to go to school, Danes get paid to university. And then we're interested, but otherwise we aren't. And I guess that explains why.
In Germany, it's like you get the knowledge in school about the political system and the topics up to 16, I think. So you think it's all right, but the problem is that that some teacher doesn't have this passion for this topic, and if you have a teacher in front of the class who says, yeah, you have to go you have to go to the election. Yeah, you have to vote. Please do this. It's important. It's very lame. Nobody wants this. But if the teacher has like this passion for democracy and is living this dream, then there are a lot of people who would say yes, we have to go to the election.
Maybe there is one more point is that young people have to see that their vote counts. For example, if we come to this inclusive budgeting, the people decide who will get the money. So maybe it could be like adapted to schools or whatever, where when children or youngsters vote, they can see the result that it's really connected to their choice, not just for fun or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that the citizen education at the local level is certainly, and the empowerment is the key. And just a comment, I listened, we had a Democracy Day nationally in Finland last week, and the Ministry of Justice is taking care of our kind of the national level democracy systems, and the leading official of Ministry of Justice told that in Finland we don't have the electoral voting system. Our voting system is the most reliable in the whole world. It's rated #1 in the world, and our Ministry of Justice has done a worldwide survey about how the electric voting system has an effect on the voting percentage, and they said that it doesn't have an effect on the voting percentage. So that's why in Finland they are not actively seeking, although we get a lot of initiatives and hopes that we could go online. But our Ministry of Justice has done the research and said that kind of the pros and cons are against for Finland for going on, and that was a big news for me because I as a kind of online person, one could think that that's not a big deal, but
it's the same in Estonia. I think the participation rate altogether hasn't grown because of the online voting. But I think the last elections, 44% of people elected online in Estonia. So, but in Estonia maybe it's a bit different case because people are really. It's like your citizen right to do things online. So these are the expectations from our citizens. And more questions? Thank you. So if you have any more questions, we have prepared a small toolbox that we don't have any time for that, but I will just show it. It can be your, I don't know, evening, just to think it through. Yeah, it's just let's say we try to. What I'm trying to say with it that doesn't matter what process you are going through in your municipality. There are some questions to go through. In this example, let's think that you have you need to have a new public transportation system in your city. This involves really many people. So and this can be a really good start for implementing new digital tools and to look through what are the target groups and how to engage them. It was meant to be that we discuss it in the groups and then you can say what are the problems if you look at your country, and I can share the experience from Estonia and you can share the experience from Germany. But as we don't have any more time for that, it can be just a thought for you. And if you have any questions or any comments, me and Catherine and also Marilena, we can share it through the lunchtime. And all the presentations will be available in the website, and I will probably send the link to you through the registration list to your email. Then you can look the things through later. So do you want to add something?
So thank you for being here and for this great discussion. We wanted to have it really interactive, and I think this was pretty successful, the discussion for everyone. Hopefully, at least for me, it was like this. And so, yeah, thank you.
I'm really happy that the youth youth also participated and shared their thoughts, because for us in Estonia, engaging young people with those digital tools is really, really important, because it's a really, to say, difficult group, not in a bad sense, but it's like a challenge for us.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you once more, and have a nice lunch, and we'll see you probably later during other workshops. Thank you.